Do you know what a thread net is? Do you use them in your studio? If not, you're going to want to watch today's video because I'm going to tell you all about thread nets and how they can help you with your quilting. Hi, I'm Kim Jamison Hurst of Chatterbox Quilts, and today I want to talk about thread nets. You may know what they are, or you may not know what they are. You may have gotten one with your sewing machine and not even realized what it was. And it's a very helpful little tool that you can use with certain types of thread. So first, let's take a look at a couple of different types of thread nets or thread control devices. You may have gotten something like this in with your sewing machine, in your accessories, I should say, when you bought your sewing machine. So it's like a little net thing. It stretches and everything. It's usually white in color. And you might have wondered what that was. You might have even discarded it. Hopefully not. It's a thread net. That's one type. Now there are other types too that you might not call a net because they aren't netting like the first one was, but this one is from Wonderfil Threads. It's called a Wonder Guard, and it acts the same way, but it's like a vinyl tape that sticks to itself. It's not sticky, but it does stick to itself. There's also another product called Hugo's Amazing Tape. It's reusable tape. You can see it's in different sizes. I have a couple of them here, and it's very similar to the Wonder Guard in that it sticks to itself. Okay, so you just peel it off, cut off how much you need, maybe that much, and you can use that on your thread spools or cones. Now, what do you do with these things and why should you be using them? Good question. Let me explain. So I've got some different threads here. I have this is Accent, and it's from Wonderfil Threads. I believe it might be a rayon, I'm not exactly sure, or polyester. It's not cotton, I know that much about it, okay? They also have this type of thread, which is called Dazzle, so it's got metallic in it. You can see here, the metallic in that. And then I've got some Superior Threads metallic here as well. I've also got a thread cone. This is what I use for machine embroidery. This is a polyester from Super Punch. It's called Super B, this type of thread. And thread nets can help with all these types of thread because when you're working with threads like this, so for example, this metallic, which let me just open it up for you. Metallics can be a little sensitive. They can get a little kinky as you go to pull them out. They can have some kinks in them, that type of thing. And you want to control that and help that get itself into your machine, feed nice and smoothly and evenly, and do a good job when you're sewing with it or embroidering with it, whatever you may be doing. These particular threads, I find, can be very slippery, and they can actually kind of fall down as you're trying to feed them in the machine. They can kind of fall down. They can get caught around the thread spindle. Both of these can do the same kind of thing. This one I'm not as overly concerned about this particular brand. It works fairly well, but I wanted to show you how one of the thread nets fits on a cone rather than a spool. But let's take a look at these spools first. Let's take this one here. And so if I wanted to control that thread, I'm actually going to get the Wonder Guard here. What I want to do is I want to make sure that the thread is going to come out the top of the guard, okay? So I'm actually going to turn my spool upside down because, gravity helps in this situation. And the thread's going down. And I'm going to wrap the Wonder Guard around. Now, not tight. You don't want this to be tight because you want the thread to be able to, feed through it, right? So you're going to have it like this. So it's, fairly loose. Should be able to move around easily. And then when I put it on my machine, it's just going to come up like this. So you're not going to get any of this slippage where that thread, starts to pull around the bottom or gets caught in the spindle or anything like that. So that's going to help for that. So that will work on any of the spools of thread we have. Now, when it comes to a cone, it's probably better to use this, or you can use, if it's big enough, the Hugo's Amazing Tape, if you can get it wider. But how this works, again, you want to have that thread coming off the top of the spool, so I'm putting the net on from the bottom up. And in this particular case, the thread net will fit right around the spool, but you don't need to do that. You can actually pull it back slightly and kind of tuck it in, and that'll keep it in place, as it were, when you are stitching. And again, it's just going to come right off the top there and feed along really nicely. Now, the other thing you can do with these thread guards or thread nets is you can use them when you're storing your threads. So you saw what I did with the metallic thread. I opened it up here. So it actually has the ability of putting the thread, and some cones and spools have this, along the bottom. There's like a little opening there, sort of. You can just put the excess thread in there, and then it just keeps it all nice and tight. That's not going to spool off when it's in your drawer or wherever you store your threads. But some other spools, like these, for example, don't have that type of fastening at the bottom. So when I put these in the drawer, if I have them sideways, for example, or even standing up, they have a tendency to start unwinding sometimes. So using the thread guards or thread nets can also be used when you're storing them to keep them in place. So if I get this little guy around here, there we go. And I would use a bigger one than this, but I've just got this one here. It's not quite long enough for that. But you can see how it would keep it in place and keep it from unspooling in the drawer, keeps it from getting tangled. Same with this one, okay? If I cut off this extra thread here, you can see how that's going to just keep that nice in the drawer, whether it's upright or down. You're not going to have any tangling, because there's nothing worse than you have different threads in the drawer and they seem to get unthreaded to a degree enough to get tangled in the drawer, and that's a real mess to clean up. So if you're finding that you're having issues with your thread, if you're working with some of these decorative kind of special threads and you're finding that they're not feeding properly into your sewing machine, that they're getting caught around the thread spindle or just pooling at the bottom of the cone, you might want to try a thread net or one of the Wonder Guards or the Hugo's Amazing Tape to help prevent those issues. Now, I have information in the description below about these products, so make sure you take a look there to find out more about them. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you'll be notified the next time I release a new video. And take a look at the videos I've included for you here that will help you on your quilting journey. For more helpful quilting information, be sure to go to my website at www.chatterboxquilts.com.